Good day, Rust enjoyers. I hope you're doing right, because it's time for Profit Review. Last week we discussed the July 11, 2024 Rustore, and that means we're here to discuss this one right here in front of me, the July 18 Rustore, for this video. So sit back and relax, let's get started. Before I proceed, some of you probably don't fully understand what I'm here to talk about, so let me explain. Basically, with every Rustore that we have, 4 weeks later, I will return to it and see how everything turned out. Now, what I'll do is I'll bring up the likes of my initial thoughts, looking at the Rustore. What did I first think? Then, of course, I'll talk about, what was looking to be a nice investment. What were my predictions? Hey, we'll probably want to reflect and see if I was correct with them. Ooh. But then, of course, we'll talk about the likes of the progress of sales. We'll talk about, did I just stick with doing a buy order? Did I actually make any purchases? It's an interesting thing to bring up. And then eventually we will then discuss, well, we had some expectations. Did everything match up to that? If not, I have to sit here and explain why. Sounds good? Right, let's get started. Initial thoughts. So, this was a pretty interesting looking Rustore. 2 primitive clothing sets in the same store. Interesting. Also, 2 sheet metal doors. So, quite a lot of deplorables. Quite a lot of, clothing and armor skins there. Well, mostly just clothing, I guess you could say. And a decent portion of weapons. It was a big Rustore. Pretty well balanced. Can't complain. But we had to figure out what was looking to be a nice investment. So, looking at the progress of sales up to the point where I did my predictions video, looking at the Mob Boss clothing, I was like, wow. So, that's already done 7,000 subscribers after a few hours. And let me point this out to you. Most skins, after the first 24 hours of sales, they probably barely reach 7,000 subscribers. That did that in a few hours. People clearly really liked it. And yeah, in all fairness, looks very cool, looks smart, looks awesome. I don't blame them. But I looked at that and I thought, I can't look at that as if it's the best, or rather the most reliable thing to invest my money into. It might be oversaturated. That was definitely something to be concerned about. So there was also the likes of the locker skin. I looked at that and I thought, you know what, that is probably the most reliable thing to go for. So let me just also sit here and say, looking at all the skins, I was like, you know what, October time, yeah, even then I still feel like all of these skins will eventually go down in price around October 2024. Yeah, that's definitely something I'm going to keep repeating over the course of the rest of this year. But that's the point. Looking at this locker here, I was like, okay, cool, another neon locker. That was very nice to see, but it looked to be the final locker. Now, regardless, I was like, this is probably the most reliable thing. Even though we're not expecting another locker, it's still probably going to do a decent enough job to retain its value, but then eventually it will still go down in price. If you're thinking more in the long term, that was the expectation. So smart buy order was definitely the way to go about it. But basically, here's the situation. We had the 4-kit locker, very cool, but was there going to be a continuation? Yep, the very next Rustore Hazmat locker appeared. This spiked up to $5.50, very cool. And with the next Rustore rotation, July 18, well, this appeared. This spiked all the way up to $3.50 to $4. Cool. But if there's not going to be another locker skin, what's going to happen to this? There you go. Didn't exactly look very pretty. So, yeah, I definitely started thinking about that, so much that I actually made a video discussing this, and I'll bring that up in a second. But regardless, it still felt like it was the most reasonable option. So, a buy order, or rather a smart buy order, can always lead to a reasonable bit of profit. But we had to wait and see how many sales were going to happen by Wednesday, and then of course we'd do the abnormal buy orders. So alright then, cool. If that was going to be the most reliable skin to invest into, what about the other skins? Surely Mob Boss? No. I was very hesitant with Mob Boss. It was selling a lot. I don't blame the people who bought it because, as I said, looks very cool. But I actually looked at the other clothing skins. I looked at Neanderthal. I thought, surely we'll get some more skins being produced, and surely, maybe, hopefully, possibly, Facepunch would consider accepting them. I was hoping for the likes of some burlap clothing. I was hoping for the likes of some hide boots and whatnot. Surely Facepunch would accept that, right? But I had to remind myself, this hide clothing, whilst we did get a continuation, it did take a month, so maybe it wasn't going to appear very soon. Hey, it was up for debate, but I felt optimistic. Oh, God. Even though bandanas up to that point and ponchos weren't exactly holding up very well, it was selling considerably, I can speak words, it was selling a lot less compared to the likes of Mob Boss. So I thought, surely, with sheer lack of sales, it could easily rise up in price if we were to see a continuation. That was the main point. So, okay then, what about Mob Boss? Yes, it did get to the point where I was talking about Mob Boss as the third option, because I was going to bring this up. Basically, with Mod Boss randomly being picked out 4 weeks after it was submitted, well, after its submission 4 weeks before this, the very next week, we did see the likes of Mod Boss Boonie Hat and Poncho. What's the likelihood we could potentially see a continuation appearing pretty quickly? More primitive skins. Was it going to happen? I felt reasonably optimistic. Ooh, it's a bit dangerous that, but you get the idea. I thought, maybe. If it sells incredibly well, maybe Facepunch will be super invested into wanting to accept the other skins as well. So I went with that being the third option. We just needed to see how much the sales were going to be by Wednesday, and of course with the abnormal buy orders, maybe we'll just try and sneak in a pretty decent looking buy order. Following that, what else looked to be reasonably interesting? Well, I went with the doors. Now again, just to remind all of you, I cared more about simply doing a buy order than actually considering, making a purchase with all of these skins. I couldn't help but assume every single one of them was going to go in the negative. So looking at the likes of both of these sheepnut doors, even though they look very cool, even though they were part of collections that had been progressing quite nicely, hey, you never know. Maybe in the future we'll see some more sequels. Maybe they might get a bit of a bump. But I knew for sure I was going to be doing a lowball buy order. I just couldn't help but assume, yeah, they're going to go down in price pretty hard. It's a shame, but, all the sheepnut doors up to that point, they weren't exactly holding up very well. More specifically, the sheepnut doors that came out in 2024. So, if everything looked a bit dreary, I was like, you know what? A smart buy order can definitely help me out. That's how I approached it. Cool. So next up, what was also looking to be nice, what could be considered a pretty decent looking buy order? Well, I went with Nuke Room Garage Door. Now, the main reason why I wasn't super confident in this was, at this point, we just had the fancy orb Twitch drop, and I was like, I'm pretty sure there's going to be some more skins on the horizon. I knew that there was going to be more Twitch drops. But I was like, I just can't help but assume there's going to be a lot more garage doors being accepted in Rust doors. Like, it was an inevitability. Looking at the previous years, we did get a lot of them, and we're only like halfway through the year. Of course there's going to be more. I just couldn't feel confident in them. Selling at $3, oof. So I was like, yeah, I'm just going to stick with doing a buy order, as I'd already said, but it was going to be a pretty low one. So we left it at that. It was nice to see the Nuke Room collection getting another acceptance, but was it actually going to continue after 2 or 3 acceptances? Well, yeah, it was that phenomenon again. Basically, a lot of deplorable collections got started in 2024, but pretty much every single one of them stopped after 2 or 3 acceptances. It is what it is. Right, so back over to here with the predictions. The one after that I considered was the Chalk Menace Wooden Door. Looked cool. There was a lot of submissions for that collection, but wooden doors. Then it came to the likes of the Apophis LR300. LR300s after their buff still didn't change that much. I was like, you know what? I'm probably just going to stick with doing a 60 cent to 80 cent buy order. Yeah, I just wasn't confident in it, I'm afraid to say. So, if I'm going to go for the absolute low ball, I was going to go for the absolute low ball. Then with the likes of the other skins, we had the likes of the MK Ultra Custom SMG. Well, I mean, that was actually the final skin. Well, looking at that, I was just like, guys, this would probably do a decent job of staying up to a reasonable price, but it's definitely going down. Like, it was inevitable. So I was just bringing up the whole idea of, well, just take a look at all the custom SMG skins that came out earlier this year, all part of notable collections: Chameleon, Banana, Thundergold, Black Diamond, Sweet Dreams, Cold Hunter, all down in price, most of them on average down by like 30%. Hey, if it's only going to go down by 30%, maybe a smart buy order. But yeah, it was definitely going to go down. So that was the inevitability. Right, so let's talk about the progress of sales. So hopping back over to the likes of here, I want to bring up the likes of the first 24 hours of sales. Mobboss Burlap Shirt and Pants did over 12,000 subscribers. The Locker did over 11,000 subscribers. Then everything kind of dropped off and barely reached 6,000 subscribers. So hey, fair enough, understood. But yeah, Mobboss, you were looking very questionable. Oh dear. That definitely looked like it's going to probably approach 30,000 subscribers by the end of the week. Yeah, kind of felt like that might potentially struggle with oversaturation. Far too many people buying skins compared to genuine demand. Look at that big gap. Where's all that excess stock likely to go to? Third-party sites and, well, the Steam market. Dump. So I was a bit hesitant there. And with the likes of the Neon Road Sign Locker, it was selling just about as much as the Hazmat Locker. And, well, it might be alright, but still, definitely going to be a situation where I'm stuck with doing a buy order. And just to look at the likes of the Neanderthal clothing, well, that only did less than 3,000 subscribers. Oof. Yeah, that really doesn't look like it's going to sell that much. Big difference when you look at the likes of this to this. So, how did things turn out? Well, when it came to the likes of progress with sales, as I was sitting here and talking about my hesitation with this locker, I actually made a video right here. I had to consider the future for them. And, well, basically, by default, I thought it was going to end up performing the same way as the From Hell locker. You can consider giving this a good watch. If I just pause real quickly, scroll over to here, yeah. The year before this was 2023, and basically I brought up that we had a very cool, notable locker skin that was the Hell locker. Glow in the dark, looked very cool, sold at a price of, what, $3, if I can remember? Something like that. Anyway, it sold 30,000. Not as much as the likes of all of these lockers here, but still a very considerable amount. And I just basically looked at the behaviour of the locker from Hell during its year, going through the likes of October time, and then all the way up to that point, at that specific point. And yeah, it dipped down in price by quite a fair bit. Not all the way down, but a considerable amount. But over the course of leading all the way up to the summer of 2024, it rose up ever so nicely. So my expectation was, all right, it's going to dip down in price. All these neon lockers, they'll dip down in price initially, but when times are good, they'll rise up quite nicely. That was the expectation. That was the hope. So, okay. We'll take that into consideration. And then came the abnormal buy orders. So, hopping over to the likes of here, you can see the subscriber counts up to that point. Right, so, what prices did I suggest for the likes of all of these skins? Well, with the likes of Modboss Burlap, it didn't look like it was going to reach up to 30,000 subscribers, but it still did quite a lot. Maybe it might just about reach 27,000 subscribers by the end of Thursday. Okay, cool. I was hesitant, I was unsure, I wasn't really confident we're definitely going to get a continuation. So I suggested 80 cents to $1.20. I wanted to play it safer. I thought, you know what? By default, burlap shirt and pants, we don't really get that many. And I was like, you know what? Give it some time, long term. I would be surprised if it rises up ever so nicely. I don't fully expect a ton of burlap skins to be produced, and let me tell you, they don't get produced that much. And they don't get accepted that much, so everything was lining up pretty nicely. But the main thing that was driving me to consider caring more about, like, long term, was just take a look at all the burlap shirt skins, take a look at all the burlap, pant skins, and you'll see that the vast majority of them actually do very nicely. Yes, they do. So, yeah, I was like, well, you know what, I think I'll just look around October, see how low they go, then I'll consider buying into them. But, yeah, I wasn't going to go super crazy with the buy orders for the abnormal buy orders, so I went with 80 cents to $1.20. Cool. With the likes of the Neon Road Sign locker, yes, at that point, we did not see another locker skin being produced. Shame, but it was expected. And basically, matching up with all the previous weeks with the previous lockers, I suggested doing $1 to $1.50. I felt like, as time went on, surely it wouldn't go any lower than $1.50. So yeah, long term, I cared more about that. That's how I approached it. I didn't think it's going to hold up super great compared to the other hazmats, the other lockers. Sorry, hazmat locker is one of them. But yeah, I was like, yeah, right. So I stuck with that buy order. Went with a safe option. When it came to the likes of the eyeside door, 70 cents to $1. Yeah, didn't expect much of it. Sold for $2.49, 70 cents, $1. Sorry. Frog door, 70 cents to $1. Yep, it was selling at $3. Don't care, 70 cents to $1. It was a sheep in a door, I'm sorry, but there was going to be more of them, and they weren't holding up very well. I feel like I've said my point. Yeah. Right, and then, of course, it came to the likes of the Nukerum garage door. Right, sold at $3, and, well, didn't sell too much. At that specific point, it had sold just under 12,000 subscribers, quite a considerably less amount compared to the likes of all the other garage doors that came out that year. That is interesting. Were we definitely going to see another Nukerum skin, though? Again, the curse of deplorables in 2024. The collections, only 2 or 3. There was only one collection that did more than that, Shadowborn. I must have mentioned that so much over the past few months, but you get the idea. Anyway, I didn't feel confident. I was worried. I thought, you know what? It feels like an inevitability that it's going to go down to around $1.50 at some point. How long would it take, though? So I played it safe, $1 to $1.50. And then it came to the likes of the Neanderthal clothing. It sold really little, like hardly anything. It was sitting there with about 5,000 subscribers each. And I was like, Well, well, basically, I was like, okay, look, if we don't see Neanderthal sequel or collection continuation appear for another month or so, yeah, it was likely going to suffer during that period of time. And if we do see a collection continuation, yeah, it might bump up ever so nicely. So I was like, okay, how low could it potentially go? From $1.49, the price it sold for in a Rust store, I went with 50 cents to 70 cents to 90 cents. Sorry about that, I got that mixed up. 70 cents to 90 cents. I thought, all right, maybe I'll drop off a fair bit. Maybe I can pick up some of these, close to around $1. But if we do that, if we do see a sequel, I'm in. I'm potentially going to make some decent profit. Good. Right, so those were all the abnormal skins. There was also some regular skins. Chalkmaness Wooden Door, I didn't even bother. I just knew that it was going to go down in price. Sorry to say. But yeah, like wooden doors, just take one quick look at them. And at that point, how many did we have accepted by that point? Well, we're going to find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I should point out 2 of these are Twitch drops, but even then, like, if people had already been given a door for free and it glowed in the dark and whatnot, would they really want, like, to pay for one? Meh. So I was just like, nah, couldn't be bothered. Like, you might be able to pick these up for a super cheap price. How hard is it going to be able to sell them? And is the profit even worth the effort? Well, there you go. So I just like, not bothered. So I took a step back, didn't want to do anything about that. The Apophis LR300, I don't think it was going to have that much interest, even though it sold not that much. 60 cents to 80 cents is what I suggested. The MK Ultra Custom SMG, well, I know that the Custom SMGs were holding up quite nicely during the summer, but what was it going to look like around October? That got me thinking. I thought, all right, 60 cents to 80 cents. If I'm not super confident, just go with the super safe option. That's what I did. And the Madness AK47, wow, I completely forgot about the Madness AK47. Did I not even mention that in my predictions? No. Well, that's probably a good representative of the Madness AK47. You probably already forgot it existed. Yeah. See, here's the unfortunate thing about this. This wasn't planned. I actually just forgot about it. It actually came out in 2 versions. There's a nice, cool, colourful version that would have stood out quite nicely. Nope, they picked the grey one. Okay, cool, it's shiny and whatnot, but, yeah, nah. I knew that was going to hardly go anywhere. Like, I just really didn't have that much faith in it. And as I said, like, I completely forgot about it. Now, I'm being brutally honest with you, I completely forgot about that. So I was just like, 60 cents to 80 cents, we'll see how it turns out. Right, so did I actually make any purchases with the likes of all of these skins? No. I was going to go with Baldur's all the way. Actually, I did buy myself a pair of these because it looked cool. Right, so outcomes. Basically, with the very next Rust store, what did we see happen? Oh, lo and behold, Mob Boss, Boonie Hat, and Poncho, which was also submitted 1 month before this specific Rust store, the July 25 Rust store, and yeah, it caused the likes of these two to go. So if I quickly look at the likes of this and the other one on the Steam market, you can see with its history that it went up very, very high. So right now, this is currently sitting here at $2.30 with 152 quantity. Seems well spread out. 90 listings above $4.29. Not that bad. It's fine. As I said, in the further future, I do expect this to work out ever so nicely. But if you look at its initial pump in price, whoa! With the very next Rust store appearing, it went from about $2.50 all the way up to about $6. Now that was the shirt. The pants I don't think went up as high, so let's just quickly confirm that. But yeah, the outcome there was, I was hesitant. I wasn't 100% sure Face Punch was going to be super, happy and make everybody else happy and actually be, picking a skin everybody wants. They did. Cool. All right. So we basically got another primitive set. Mob Boss did look very stylish, did look very cool. A lot of people also happened to be wearing Mob Boss during the Global Warfare 2 event. When we did all the UN meetings and whatnot, everybody had to wear it. So it got quite a bit of advertisement. That's cool. That's nice. Not sure if it's going to have that much of an impact on the price and whatnot, but what really happened to affect the price was, of course, the continuations appearing literally the very next week. So cool. That was a very nice positive. But as expected, it wasn't going to hold up forever. The skin creator, he didn't make Mob Boss sequel very quickly, did he? Took his time, and eventually it did go down. That was an expectation. I was kind of sitting there and saying, guys, you should sell that now. Grab that profit whilst you could. But I'm going to be straightforward with you. I was hesitant. I wasn't sure. And, well, yeah, I didn't manage to get in and make a big profit, did I? Unfortunate. Did you? Did you jump in? Did you make a good flip? Feel free to comment below. Laugh at me with all of your profit. But as time goes on, this is only up by 3%. This is only up by 16%. As we get closer to October time, could that still go below its roster price? I still believe that's going to happen. I do believe. So whilst I wasn't fully correct with the short term, the long term, it's looking like it's still getting there. So just put my hands up. I feel like I'm going to be correct with that. We'll see how things turn out. Cool. The neon road sign locker. So I was giving everybody a heads up. We're fully well in the belief of, all right, yeah, that's going to go down in price along with the other lockers. So it's all probably going to go down to maybe $1.50. But in the future, with all the other neon skins from Duck's Neon Collection, maybe everybody feels the need to buy them out, get a full collection. Maybe it works out simply because of that. A nice, graceful rise up in price. Okay, that did not go up in price at all, no. It might have initially for a bit, but it probably lasted a few hours and then it went below its restore price and it hasn't gone back up since. So as time has gone on, with the likes of these lockers, even the hazmat locker has gone below its restore price. Now the weird thing is that, yeah, there was a lot of listings of these. More of these compared to this when that basically first became marketable. And when this came out, whilst it did bump up a fair bit, it went down very quickly. This has been very stable over the past month. Very, very good. It's slowly going down, but it's certainly slightly, just a bit. So anyway, with the likes of these lockers, it's basically matched up to expectation. Yeah, pretty quickly. Now, this did go below $2 for a period of time, but it's now kind of stable around $2. How low will you go? Well, we're getting closer to October. I still feel like it's going to be reasonable. I still feel like it's going to be fine, but it's going to probably drop off a fair bit. Now, just to look at this in terms of its listings, how are you currently holding up? 228. Yeah, that could probably get a lot worse. Oh dear. But what does it look like in terms of the standing, the listing position? Well, $2.36, $2.48, $2.87, $10, $20. It's fairly spread out. And quite a lot of them are, in fact, listed at quite a higher price compared to what its rostore price is. Maybe it could still work out quite nicely. We shall see. But it does feel like that matched up to expectations. So, okay, cool. I put out a lot of warnings. I hope you listened. If you did, feel free to comment. If you didn't, feel free to comment. Right, the sheep and doors. Let's do both of them at the same time. I suggested 70 cents to $1 for both of them. And, yeah, eyeside door is currently sitting here at $1.22. Bit unfortunate. There was a garage door produced. It wasn't accepted. I know. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh well, we'll see what happens. You never know. Complete the sets is on the horizon. We shall see. Anyway, cool looking door. I thought it looked really nice, but it was inevitable. We've had plenty of cool looking sheep doors that came out, but here we go. This is where so many of them end up at. Half of its price, and potentially might go even lower. These buy orders aren't super, super strong. It could go much, much lower. We shall see. But, another deplorable would be nice. Same thing applies to the likes of this frog door here. So this has actually only got 24 listings. That's not really that much. Back over to here, 38. Back over to here, this says 24. All right, actually, I got that bit wrong there with the eyeside door. But basically, if every Ruskin on the Steam market has around 100 quantity on average, and this has 24, this has 38, all it needs is just a little bit, a little bit of a push, continuation, as I said. And that could easily get bought out, and suddenly it's selling back up to its rustore price and potentially higher. But look at the buy orders. This is weaker compared to the eyeside door. Oh dear. And that sold for $3. Oof. So we'll see what becomes of this in the future. Hey, it takes one YouTuber, to use this door and say they love it, and suddenly everybody wants to use it. Yeah, we'll see. But I feel like this is going to be a bit of a struggle for it. Now, that frog door only did 8,000 subscribers. Compare that to likes of the eyeside door, which did about 50% more and a bit more. maybe one of them might bump up again in the future. We shall see. But yeah, all the sheep doors, bar one at the moment, all of them are in the negative. It's very unfortunate. 2024 has not been a great year for the sheep door. Right, now we can talk about the likes of the Nuke Room garage door. Hey, you know that weird hunch I had with more garage doors on the horizon? Yeah, that did happen. In 4 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. Yeah, yeah. So that's gone down by 45%. That's now sitting here at $1.63. Yeah, yeah. Garage stores don't seem to be super reliable investments anymore. Now, here's the funny thing: there's only 20 listings. Well, I mean, just a few sales and it's back up again potentially. Buy orders are basically a fair bit below the halfway point. I mean, yeah, we played it safe, and that's probably helped out a lot of people. But is this at its worst? Are there a lot more people out there with like 100 of them in stock? Are they going to get panicky over the course of like October time and they're going to dump them on the Steam market? We don't know. But it looks like everything did match up to expectations here. It felt like, that's fine. There's not much else to say. Oh, and, Nucrum didn't get any more deplorable skins accepted. The curse. What about the Trakmer wooden door? Even though I didn't really engage it, yeah, it went down in price. It's already down by 31%. How many listings are there? And as you can see, well, there's only 13. Huh. Well, after it only did 11,000 subscribers is quite a lot. Like on average, for something to be really low quantity, well, you'll find out in a bit. But anyway, with the likes of this, yeah, not surprised. And Trakmer collection, another deplorable collection, only 2 skins accepted, and like 3 or 4 newer skins produced but not accepted. Face punch. I don't know what else to say. And then we move on to likes of the Apophis LR300. Yeah, you went below $1. In fact, I think this is it the cheapest LR300? Let's just quickly go and see. Regardless, the point of, hey, I'm going to go do 60 cents to 80 cents. Yeah, that helped out a lot. So, yeah, that was the way to go. That matched up to expectations. MK Ultra SMG, well, I mean, you're sitting here at $1.43. So it hasn't gotten super cheap. But that's now. I will sit here and say I was wrong in the short term, but in the long term, we need to wait a little bit longer. See all of these buy orders here? It can easily all the way go down to 70 cents, So long term, maybe it goes down to around 60 to 80 cents. We shall see. But as of now, it's doing very good. So props to you, MK Ultra. Unfortunately, we haven't had any more MK Ultra skins accepted, have we? Which is kind of sad, because it does look very cool, but, yeah, face punches decisions. Anyway, moving on. Madness AR. Did you remember the skin? Because I didn't, and here we are. So, Madness AK47, you sold at least, around 8,000 subscribers. I'll sit here and say I'm pretty confident there's at least 8,000 of these in circulation. But looking at that right now, is it the cheapest AK47? Yes, it is. It is 83 cents. Oh my word, look at that. So here we go to the cheapest ones in existence. How cheap is it compared to the second cheapest? Oh no, it says 95 cents there, but it says 83. Let me just go look on the Steam market. Let's go look on the Steam market. No, it is 83 cents. No, it's 95. I don't know what's going on anymore. Regardless, 60 cent to 80 cent barter worked out perfectly fine. So yeah, we'll correct that. Weapons and tools tend to be very easy to figure out. And then we have the Neanderthal clothing. So, were sequels produced? Were there more skins for the Neanderthal clothing, more specifically the primitive skins? Yes, we did get hide shoes, we did get a boonie hat, it looked nice, came out pretty quickly. Did Facepunch like it? Did Facepunch want to have a full, proper Neanderthal primitive clothing set? No, they didn't accept it. Yep, now, the weird thing is, a little bit later down the line, we got Tier 3 accepted. Huh. Now here's the funnier thing. Yeah, with that appearing, that did get bought out. Okay, cool. So right now, the poncho's in the positive. The bandana's like the least worst performing bandana out of all the bandana skins right here. So we did get a sequel, and we did get a nice boost. And did I manage to buy a few of these? Yes, I did. Just a few, not a lot, just a few. I could sell them right now and do a nice quick flip. I'm probably not going to do that. As I said a little bit earlier, we are expecting a complete set just around the corner. Maybe we'll get those boots there, the boonie hat there. More primitive skins, give it an even stronger boost. We shall see, we shall see. But yeah, playing it safer worked out initially, but then with the Tier 3, it went back up again. Didn't even need to be primitive. Okay, cool. That happened. That's pretty interesting. And you are aware. So across the board, quite a lot of the skins here were, very easy to, project how it's going to behave and whatnot. I wasn't sure. I left it to fate. I was incorrect with this one. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So, yeah, that was the notable thing that I was wrong on. But across the board here, pretty much all of these skins aren't exactly holding up super great, are they? So many of them in the negative. That was the main expectation. Give it another month or two. What are these going to look like? What's that going to look like? And this? So yeah, just because it's holding up reasonably at the moment doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be holding up forever. And I always look at these skins more specifically in the long term. So we'll see how it all turns out. You know. Some of you probably already flipped some skins, made some profits. So yeah, feel free to comment below. But yeah, Hedge did get some of the things wrong, but everything basically matched up to expectation. And I think it's going to be very easy to figure out things from here and now to the rest of the year. Because, yeah, once we hit September, kids go back to school, less people play the game, less demand for skins, lower skin prices. So next week, of course, will be the July 25, 2024 Rust Tour with 2 carriage tours, the continuation for Mob Boss. Let's discuss that next week. Thank you very much for watching me today. I greatly appreciate it. Hope the video was nice and insightful. I hope you're picking up on themes, A lot of this stuff is very predictable. Predictable, that's the word of the day. But yeah, sometimes things can be a little bit unpredictable. But Face Punch could be strange. Yay. So double thumbs up. Best of luck to you and your investments. Let's look forward to the rest of this year, see how things turn out over the course of the next couple of months, and of course look forward to Christmas time and post-Christmas time. Have a lovely day. Catch you later. See you. Goodbye.